Hi, I am Abhijeet, student of UnnatiDevelopment and Training Center. In this video, we are going to discuss about Dockerfile. So here are some of the instructions of Dockerfile. From instruction. The from instruction sets the base image that can be CentOS, Ubuntu, or any of the distributions. Run instruction. The run instruction runs a shell command in a new layer. Workdir. The workdir instruction sets the working directory of the container and the image. Add instruction. Add instruction adds a file from the local machine to the container image. Copy instruction. Copy instruction copies a local file to the container image. Label. The label is in the format of key equals to value. Labels can be anything. For example, maintainer equals to maintainer name. Only the thing you have to keep in mind while assigning a label is that it should be present in key equals to value format. Expose. The expose informs the Docker container to listen to a specific port. It is by default set to TCP protocol that can be further changed according to our desire. Can be set either to TCP or UDP. Here, the expose instruction only tells the container to listen to a specific port. If you want to publish the port, you have to use the -p parameter in the Docker run command. Entry point. The entry point runs an executable when the container starts. CMD. CMD is similar to entry point. It also runs an executable when the container starts. They both are used according to the requirements and the scenario. User. The user instruction switches the user for the Docker file as well as the container. The further instructions in the Docker file would be run with respect to this user. OnBuild. The OnBuild instruction works whenever an image is created from the previous image which contains this OnBuild instruction. The OnBuild instruction executes a specific command assigned to it whenever a new image is created from the existing image. The health check instruction is used to check the health of the container. Whenever the command given to the health check instruction returns an exit status of 0, the container is considered to be healthy. So now let's look at some examples. So here I have created two files. One of is a Docker file and the other one is an index.html. So let's take a look at the Docker file. So here's what the Docker file says. It says from CentOS 7, that means using CentOS 7 as a base image, run yum install httpd-y, installing the httpd package. Now the add instruction. The add instruction is adding the index.html to the specific path where www.html. That means adding this file to this path. This is the default path for hosting a website for HTTPD. Here we have a label. The label states that maintainer equals to Abhijeet Mohanan, and here another label which states the base image used here is CentOS 7. We have exposed the port 80, which would be by default on TCP protocol. Here we have the onBuild instruction. So the onBuild instruction is asked to run this specific instruction, specific command whenever the another image is created from this image. So according to the onBuild instruction, this parameter, this file at the root's home directory should not be present in this image which we are going to build from this specific Docker file. Now we have the entry point parameter. The entry point parameter here states to start the HTTPD service in the container. So here we have a CentOS image, installing it HTTPD, adding this specific index.html to this path, two labels, exposing the port 80, and an onBuild instruction to run whenever this image is used by someone else to create a new one, and an entry point instruction to start whenever the container is being started up. So let's build the container now. So let me show you the values of index.html file. So here it is, hello all. And now let's build the image. So the command is docker build -t image name. Here I'm going to name it as httpd and dot. So it's building the image now. So yes, we have successfully built our image. So let's check the image. So here it is, the httpd img. Now let's run and check the image. So run the image. It is docker run -d detach img. Yes, the image here it is running. The container has been started. So let us verify whether the web page has been loaded. So let's get the IP of the container. To get the IP of the container, use docker inspect container ID. So here the IP of the container. Let's call this IP. So here it is. Now let us go into the container. Docker exec-it. IT stands for interactive terminal. The container ID. And I'm taking the bash. So we are in the container now. At the slash location. So as we said, the Dockerfile had written about an onBuild instruction. Here it is, the onBuild instruction. So let us check whether this file is present in this container. So it should be at /root /copy.txt. Let's go to /root. Yes. So here there is no file created with such a name /copied.txt. Now further in this video we are going to create an image from this existing image, and then I will show you how this file is created and you will get a clear idea of how ONBUILD works. So let's look at the EntryPoint and CMD instruction. Here I have created a Docker file that will represent the use case of EntryPoint and CMD. So here's what the Docker file says. That is, from CentOS 7 image, install the iputils package. The iputils package contains the ping command. Here the entry point instruction has two parameters, ping and -c2, and the CMD has localhost. So it should work as ping -c2 localhost. That would ping the localhost with two iteratives. Now let's build the Docker file. So yes, the image is created. Now let's check for the image. Yeah, the image is running here. The image is, yes, the image is present here. So the image is present here. Now let's run the image. As we see, the container is by default pinging to the localhost. Now, the entry point and CMD acts in a sequence. This format of writing is called as EXEC format, in which this entry point and CMD is written. So how this instruction works is like entry point and then CMD. So the instruction will go like this: ping hyphen C2 localhost. So it should ping your localhost 2 times. Now the CMD parameter can be changed by adding a value here. So if you add google.com, this specific localhost will be overridden by this value. So now let's check. So yes, as you can see, the container is now pinging google.com. Exactly, this entry point can also be changed. You have to pass the parameter as hyphen hyphen entry point and write whatever you want to pass. So it would overwrite this entry point instruction. So that's a minor difference between entry point and CMD. To run a container in a proper way, either the entry point or the CMD has to be mentioned. So now let's have a look at the user and the workdir instruction. Here we have a Dockerfile. So the Dockerfile says from CentOS 7, add a user named user1, set the password as tour. Now we have switched the user to user1. Now for the following instructions will be ran by the privileges of this specific user. Setting the work dir to the user's home directory. Any of the instructions run beyond this work dir will be run directly into this path. So creating a folder named myfold in this directory by default, as the work dir is set to home slash user1 slash home slash user1, the directory will be directly created at this path. Now again changing the work directory to home usr1 myfold and now creating a file in this folder. So now when this container will be created, the default user we would be logging into will be user1 and the default path we would be at would be this path. So let's build this image. Docker build -t user dot. So this image is being created. Yes, so let's check for the image. Yes, we have the image here. So let's run the image. So we are now into the container. Default path is so I am user1 here and let me see file. Yes, the file is created here with the specific privileges of this user1. This file is owned by user1 and it belongs to the group user1. So now let's make a minor change here. Let's add this path as slash file. It will be created in the slash directory. So as a result, user 1 does not has the privileges to create a file at slash. Therefore, this image should not be built. Let's see. Docker build -t user test dot. So yes, the container image is not built because this user does not has any privileges to create a file at slash location. So as a result, whenever you use this instruction user, it switches the user for the container as well as the Dockerfile. So now let's take a look at the onBuild instruction. We have a Dockerfile here for the same. So the Dockerfile is using the httpd img, the image that we had created from the previous Dockerfile. So let me show you the previous Dockerfile. So yes, in this previous Docker file, here we have the onBuild instruction to run this specific command so that it would create a file at slash root named copied.txt and that would state it's copied. So this is the Docker file for this specific image. Now the current Docker file is this one. It's created from this image. It only adds an index.html to this specific path. So this is what it is written in index.html. Now let's build this image. Docker build -t on build dot. So yes, the image is built. Images, you can see this on build here. So now I am going to run this image. So yes, here it is. The container has been created. So now let's go into the container. We are into the container now. So here we have the copied.txt and it states it's copied. So as I have shown earlier, this file is not present in this specific container. So let's get into the previous container and verify once again. So yes, we are going to /root ls. So here there is no file at this location, but here there is copied.txt and it states that it's copied. So the onBuild instruction works in this way. The instruction was given to this specific image and it worked on the new image which is created. So now let's have a look at the health check instruction. Here I have a previously created Dockerfile. So a Dockerfile says from the CentOS 7 image install the curl package, and the health check instruction says that curl this specific IP. So if this curl and the specific IP, this command receives Written status as 0, that is the exit status as 0, the container would be set to healthy. This specific IP is of a previously launched container. So let me show you. So here it is. The IP belongs to this container. Docker inspect, container's name, rep. Yes, here it is. This is the container. As long as the container is running, this container built from the specific image would be healthy. So now let's build this image. Docker build -t. So yes, the image is built. So yes, the image is built here. Let's check it. Here we have the image. Now let's run the image. So here it is. This container is created from the image health. So you can check the status here. The health is starting. Let's wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, the container is now healthy. It would only stay healthy as long as this container is active. So now let's stop this container. So the container is stopped now. So this would turn unhealthy. It would almost take about 90 seconds to do this process to turn the container unhealthy. So let's wait. So as you can see, the container has now turned unhealthy. So yes, now the container is unhealthy. If I bring this back again to running state, so this container would turn healthy again. Start image name, image ID, container ID. So yes, the container has started. So let's wait for 30 seconds more as this health check happens once in 30 seconds. So yes, as you can see, the container is now healthy. So exactly what happened is when this image, let me clear the screen. So what happened is this specific command curl 172.17.02, this IP belongs to this specific container, returned an exit status that was non-zero. So this container turned unhealthy when this specific container was stopped. And when the specific container was restarted, this command returned an exit status of 0. As a result, the container is now healthy. So in this way, the health check parameter or the instruction can be used. This command can be replaced by any of the parameters that you would like to check to determine the health of your container. Hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please press the like button and share as well as subscribe to the channel. If you need anything, mention it below in the comment section.